Hi, and welcome to Second Rate Film School. I'm Andrew, and again, I am joined by my sister Amanda today as we continue our month long look into the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Today, we're starting with episode 4, original air date October 28th, 1993.
Hey, I'm delighted to be here.
So this is the first one with not a wraparound segment involving the family in reality. I suppose this is a parody of Night Gallery, which I wonder how many people actually got the reference even in 1993, let alone in 2021. But yeah, fun fact: this segment was written by Conan O'Brien. He did the wraparound segments for this Treehouse of Horror, apparently.
Nice. It's interesting that they're having Bart do it for the first time.
Yeah, that's like I think this is, if I remember correctly, the last one with a wraparound segment. Yeah, this is the last one for wraparound segment to date, as far as I know. Lisa never got a chance to do one, so that's unfortunate. So
Well,
maybe this year they'll do it.
Lisa always gets left out.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that Marge got two because Marge and Lisa are usually left out, but she got two of them.
Well, she
So
got them because she's nagging people that they're scary.
yeah. So, this segment, The Devil and Homer Simpson, is a parody of, obviously, The Devil and Daniel Webster. Um, Not on me to harp on great American literature, but this is a better version of that story, in my opinion. So, this is a great segment in general. But yeah, it's super funny, and we'll obviously get into why as we go along. But yeah, Homer's gluttony has now become a major problem for him. Of Grandpa with your getting hit by birds and donuts.
I don't really remember this one.
Maybe you should have watched it like I suggested.
I watched the first three, but I didn't watch the second one. So we're flying solo. But I've seen every episode 5 million times.
Yeah, but yeah, love having Flanders as the devil here. Yeah, it's
Oh, it's
great.
always the person you'd least suspect.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember this one. All right, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry.
yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah. But yeah, it's great. He's selling his soul literally for a devil or for a donut. This is just how low Homer has sunk into his gluttony.
Hell's Kitchen, get it?
Yeah, it's a place and a show, but it was just a place at the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's great how he inadvertently tricks Ned Flanders. He's somehow smarter than the devil for this one moment of the show. I like when he turns into the giant devil, you can kind of see he's still wearing glasses. It's nice.
I also like that he's really ripped, just like Ned Flanders is.
Yeah, and they hadn't revealed that yet. I don't think. When did the New Orleans episode air?
I think it was season 4, right?
Yeah, so
Daddy's Soul Donut.
yeah.
Daddy's Soul Donut. Forbidden Donut.
And again, it's just so Homer that he forgets about it. Just like, whatever. I love how they put Bart's F plus on the test on the fridge. Yeah, and then he's too fat to get sucked into the portal.
You like that? Like, hey, Bart. Hey.
Hey, as we saw in season 2, he has a good relationship with the devil. Yeah, he's not supposed to come back till what was the Yankees win the pennant, so he's still
Yeah,
got a few years.
there you go.
But yeah, this is straight out of the Devil and Daniel Webster, where he's like, I should get a trial. I'm an American because this is written at a time where everyone was optimistic. So yeah, that's straight out of it. But obviously, he gets to spend some time in hell, which is very visually creative.
Hot dog
Yeah,
meat.
ironic punishment division. And again, Homer's gluttony is just great here. How like this is supposed to be a punishment, but he ends up loving it.
Although this is pretty horrifying.
Yeah. But he's enjoying like the devil and all of them are confounded by his gluttony and they don't know what to do. It's perfect.
I don't know who James Coco is. Do you
And
know
neither
James?
do I. I'll put his Wikipedia up in the link. Um, yeah.
Oh, I love Lionel Hutz.
Combing himself with a fork.
I watched Matlock at a bar last night.
Phil Hartman, the late great Phil Hartman. Um, yeah, I just love they're doing the trial right in their living room, and they're really, how stupid Hutz is. He's getting tricked into like getting good concessions from him that are meaningless, but giving up the important ones to the devil.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. And the jury of the damned here. Ironically, Benedict Arnold is here, but he was not actually in the original Devil and Daniel Webster being out of town, is what they said. But this is great having Richard Nixon here, who really would die less than 6 months after this episode aired, so they were only a few months off.
Wow.
But yeah, then having like the flyers and all that, it's like it's great. Like all these people are supposedly the damned. And again, Richard Nixon, who says sorry, sir, to the devil.
This chair be high, says I.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. Like how this is where this original story gets a little like stupid. Where I will give the writers of The Simpsons better credit here. That the story just goes that. Hey, I know I made a legally binding deal with the devil, but this is America, and America's great, and freedom is great, so I should be free. And that's literally how that story ends. You don't have to do legally binding documents because freedom is great. So, I know we get a little ahead of the ending, but I give them credit here, and it's a very nice moment between Marge and Homer, illustrating their unending love for each other.
Yeah. I like this. I think this is a cute ending.
Yeah. And obviously not on topic of that. I love that picture. But not completely on topic. That's what I think. Where a lot of people shit on the Simpsons movie, I truly do like that moment when she like tapes over their wedding ceremony, because we've seen throughout the show Homer can do a lot of stupid shit, but he always will have Marge's support and love, and that's like been the one constant in the show. So that was a gut punch in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
all I can give you in return is my soul.
Aww.
There you go.
A little bit better than freedom. I also love Lizzie Borden is also on the thing, and she just has her ex. And then I love how Homer still doesn't escape punishment though. The line work in this is great with the shadows and all that is still kind of creepy.
Yeah, and what is it? So it ends with like not going outside because the police are outside.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is another classic depiction when they do the figures a lot. They'll have him with the donut in his head. It's a good design.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, all around a great segment.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Again, I like the ending. It's sweet for how spooky it's supposed to be. It's a nice ending.
Oh, they brought Lisa out. Okay.
Yeah, but not as a host. But yeah, this is great. Him being like, school bus isn't scary. What about a ghoul bus?
There's nothing scarier than having to go to school.
Yeah. This one segment, Terror at 5.5 Feet, written by a friend of our show, Bill Oakley. Again, listen to the link down below. I'm really trying to market myself here, guys. I'm turning into Gil on The Simpsons. Just like, oh, come on, you gotta help me out.
I brought this wall from home.
These trading cards are great. Just like Krusty running out of ideas. This is when we're starting to get into Krusty as a shyster,
right.
Doing shitty products. Inadvertently, I should mention to Disney and all them to sue the crap out of Final Destination, because this kind of rips off Final Destination, or Final Destination ripped this off, I should say. Yeah, this came out several years before that movie did, and
right.
the premonition of death. Which is weird because that obviously doesn't happen in the original Twilight Zone segment. I love this Homer with his air horn from the marina.
I love like it's recurring in a lot of different episodes. Whenever Bart is on edge, Homer like comes in and freaks him out. Like, hey Bart, you want to see my new chainsaw and hockey mask?
Exactly. Hey Bart, you want a brownie? Be careful, it's hot. Great.
Wang computers.
Yeah. Poor Martin. But yeah, reference to the Nightmare at 20,000 feet, I think, is what the original one. That's the Gremlin on the Wing with Shatner and the original Twilight Zone. They did that in a segment of it in the Twilight Zone movie, and this is a very good parody of it. They're on a bus and all that. But it's great how it like works out, how no one's believing him, especially Milhouse, because he doesn't want to get bullied. He's not, because it's a ridiculous concept. Like, if I turn, they can wedgie me.
It's not an unridiculous concept,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, but it's great that it's like, I didn't know what an AMC gremlin was at the time when I first saw this as a kid, so I didn't get the joke. That's like, there's a gremlin next to us, so I thought it was supposed to be he mistook Hans Moleman for a gremlin. But the joke works on both layers.
Right.
And poor Bart freaking out. And I just love how groundskeeper Willie and Principal Skinner are also here, and now Otto's not driving the bus.
Of course.
Yeah, got our Kane and Kodos quota for the year.
Yep.
Again, not always consequential, but they're there.
Yep.
And then everything wrong with it. Perfect cap for that joke.
I've gotten word that a child is using his imagination.
Skinner. Or Armin Tansarian, I suppose.
No.
Yeah, no, we'll never mention that. Yeah, I love how they have like the airplane windows on this.
I went to a restaurant this weekend called Seymour's, and the entire time I was just like, Seymour, quoting Agnes, and Ashley was about ready to murder me. So
there you go. Did they have steamed hams on the menu?
They did not. But it was a fish restaurant, so I was like, be careful. That has tiny bones in it.
Like Milhouse would rather sit with Unter than sit with Bart, who's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they do a good job, like, even though this is obviously a parody of an existing thing, like, making it work and be terrifying that, like, you're all gonna die because of this and no one will believe him.
Right.
It's very well done.
Right.
They're gonna fucking tie him up. The school system in America for you.
Yeah.
Remember when they would tie us up on the buses? Or was that just me?
I think that was just you.
Oh. The bully said it was normal and it was to keep me safe.
You know, the really fucked up thing is that, like, we never wore seatbelts on the bus.
That's the thing. It's like they tell wear your seatbelts all the time unless you're with 30 other children in the bus.
Yeah, right.
And they had seatbelts. Like I remember when I was in kindergarten, I would put it on. But as I got older, I'm like, oh, I guess no one else is doing this.
We never wore seatbelts. We were all just like driving around on a rickety old thing with somebody that had like questionable like skills or whatever.
Well, and I don't know if all schools did this, but at our school, like for the young kids, because a kid won't remember that they're on bus 182. They'll remember a cartoon character, so they would put pictures of like Disney characters and whatnot in the window, so that way the kid could be like, oh, I'm on the Donald bus, I'm on the Mickey bus, and all that. Yeah, I love this. Ned Flanders again is so nice. He's taking an obvious monster, but the monster doesn't know how to react. But I wasn't on the bus one day. I had to get driven to school by our mom because I had a big project or whatever, that like a diorama or whatever. And I noticed none of the kids in my bus were there, and our bus driver was not paying attention and hit a deer. and like the bus broke down, and ironically we were the yeah she hit a deer, and like the deer was still alive, so everyone could fucking hear it,
Oh my god.
and like a sheriff's deputy was just like waiting with the bus, and like a new bus had to come and get them. And like my friend's like, yeah, as soon as we pulled away, we see the sheriff's deputy get out of his car, and then we heard a gunshot, so we drove
No.
away. But
No.
the topper was we were the Bambi bus that year.
No, that's not true.
That is
You
100%.
were
That really
you were the
happened.
Bambi bus? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. We
Well,
were the Bambi bus.
I want to know why they changed our route from Pac-Man to Bambi.
Yeah, I was. It was the Pac-Man bus probably through early grade school for me,
Mm.
too. So I don't know. I maybe the fucking Pac-Man decal wore off, and they couldn't find a good Google image search for it again.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that's horrifying. Great.
But anyways, back to the Simpsons. Um, yeah, so Bart Simpson's Dracula, obviously a reference to Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, which had come out only a year or two
Or
before.
how about Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Well, this one is visually reminiscent of that movie, though.
Mm,
Mr. Burns is dressed up like Gary Oldman in that movie. But
mm.
yes, obviously Dracula in general. But yeah, I think this is one of the most visually interesting ones. And obviously, when you're parodying a Coppola movie, you got a lot of good visuals to go from. Yeah, well, Ken Brock again, clearly evil Mr. Burns with blood dripping down his mouth.
Precious blood.
We're driving through like the opening credits of Scooby Doo. It's great. Um,
A midnight dinner. Pennsylvania.
it's great. So I guess Springfield's not in Pennsylvania then.
Did everybody wash their necks like Mr. Burns asked?
Yeah, love how filthy Homer's neck is. This joke is great. One of the few times in the early seasons where a character will swear, quote unquote. An actual swear that you have to cut off, I should say. Yeah, funny you can't say bitch on TV, but apparently Bart Simpson saying bastard and turning it into a song is allowed.
Yeah. They've said bitch in this series, though, before.
Yeah, bitching, but I guess they cut that off there just for the joke. TV censors are weird, is what we're saying.
Yes.
I like it later on when they have the opening thing of like the censor saying we cut everything out, and then like the rating box killing him. This joke also is great where Homer's like, yeah, but it's free blood is very reminiscent of him not wanting to leave the haunted house because it's a very good deal. His cheapskate nature looking for a good deal is still there.
Right.
And that the laundry room is in the hidden chamber is great. No garlic. Yeah, you wonder who all these other coffins are for, since we only, at this point, have seen Mr. Burns as a vampire. I guess maybe Smithers, but... No, I guess, yeah, just generic vampires. I forgot about this. But yeah, I love this joke. I've seen your Shemp. I've seen your Curly, too.
Yeah.
Don't know how many little kids are doing impressions of Shemp anymore, but I guess in 1993.
No, that was still really outdated. Super fun, happy slide.
Yeah. So, and yeah, since this one came out in October of 93, this was the last Simpsons Treehouse of Horror you would have been able to watch without me being alive. So, does this one hold a special place in your heart now?
Yeah, because I liked it better before you were born.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Oh. Yeah, it was your 50th birthday the weekend I was born.
My older sister, my older sister, my older sister.
It's an accurate term.
You were just emphasizing it to the point where it was like a little ridiculous.
Well, I wanted to illustrate that, like, you had a different viewpoint of The Simpsons than I did.
No, you were just trying to say that I'm old.
Both. I like the vampire depiction of all these characters. It's a nice nod that they're slightly paler. I like how Bart's hair is like a little ruffled up. Right. And they allowed him to do the stretchy head when he turns his head that they I think we're phasing out by this point.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing watching like the early seasons how rubbery. I love how they repeat the glass break. Um, yeah, Homer like admonishing him is good enough.
We have to kill the boy.
How do you know he's a vampire? He's a vampire. Grandpa's great. I love Maggie waving goodbye.
We have to kill the head vampire. Do I dare live out the American dream?
I love how like he's almost tempted to pull the thing too.
I guess killing will be fun enough.
Love them going. It's like Homer or Dad, you're just hitting his crotch. It's such a stupid joke, but it's great.
I like that he
But
didn't wake up when he was
yeah,
nailing it into his crotch.
yeah, and then like him melting like that is so creepy. But coming back just long enough to fire him. Yeah. So and yeah, this is the first one where nearly the entire Simpsons family is technically speaking killed off. Lisa doesn't get turned into a vampire, but this is the first time any of them really are killed off, so to speak. So that's very interesting. That took 4 episodes before we start seeing actual negative consequences for the Simpsons
Hmm.
that result in their kind of deaths. And then this is just a great joke. That's like Halloween's over. Time to immediately just switch to Christmas.
Yeah,
Doing this Snoopy thing.
I mean that's true, right? The minute Halloween is over, we're into Christmas decorations at the CVS.
Yeah, yeah. It's very disappointing. I love my spookiness. I want to keep it forever. But anyway, so all right. Well, this has been Treehouse of Horror number 4. We'll be back after a brief intermission for Treehouse of Horror number 5. See you then. All right, welcome back. We're now on Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 5. Original air date October 30th, 1994. Often considered probably the best of the series. This one has a 9.2 on IMDb. Every other one prior to this was mid 8 points. And then after this, it starts dropping down into the 7 points and whatnot as we go down. So this is probably the height of them. So this will be a fun one to talk about.
Oh, this is crazy that they have like a actual footage spliced in.
Yeah. It's also interesting that they're doing a parody of The Outer Limits here now. Like that's what the home bar being like taking over the screen is.
Hmm.
That was the opening credits. So again, much like with Night Gallery last time, I wonder how many people got this reference.
Hmm.
So, and this is the first time there's no wraparound segments. Yeah, we get the little bit of the opening credits with Marge again as a reference to the first few years, but after this, it's just straight up starting to just be opening credits, and that's it.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's crazy how long like this has been going on. We've seen now we're into the mid 90s from this, and it's like we're very little into the whole series, and it's just crazy how long this tradition has been going on for.
Well, V is 5, right? It's the fifth one.
Yeah, so this is number 5. So, but over 32, we had getting the grotesque zombies, like body horror switching is fucking terrifying. Um,
Ugh.
yeah, so, but yeah, so the Shinnin. Yeah, love how good, like how accurate to the movie this is. The theme is very reminiscent. These shots of them driving through the
Right.
mountains.
Yeah.
You know, they even got Homer wearing like the Jack Nicholson like sweater over his shirt. And then this is a great joke how they have to keep going back because Homer keeps forgetting something. And actually, I had a Simpsons toy growing up. It was a the car, and you would press the hood, and it would say different sayings, and like each character had a few sayings.
They
And
didn't Lisa say, "Oh no, we left Grandpa back at the gas station."
yeah, that was the capper to that joke that they're like, we're not going back. But yeah, when you would press the hood on the trunk, Marge's lines were, Homer, did you remember to lock the front door?
I remember that. Oh no, we left Grandpa back at the gas station from that toy.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great that Mr. Burns has gone into like the hotel business evidently as well. Yeah, I just love passing by the wall of axes.
It's interesting that they didn't try to do they didn't try to like do the Overlook Hotel design too much.
I mean, they kind of did, but yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they had to be a little careful to make it somewhat legally distinct.
The shinning.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's the
hedge maze. Yeah, I love Bart cutting through it to cheat. It's very Bart Simpson that he would take that route.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is the one where groundskeeper Willie, he starts he doesn't get too many episodes or too many big moments in the series as itself, but he's like usually the standout in a lot of these Treehouse of Horror episodes, and obviously this one specifically, he gets a lot to do. So that's
right.
Very fun that they let Willie have some fun.
Don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5.
Like Smithers cutting the wire and all that too, the cable and whatnot is great. And like how he points out to Mr. Burns, like, this might have been why the last 5 people died. He's like, I owe you a Coke if they're all dead.
Yeah, he says that a lot. Okay, I owe you a Coke.
Yeah. Maggie doing red rum blocks right now.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly Homer goes insane when he realizes there's no cable or beer. Oh, God. Just quickly snaps. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good play on the Jack Torrance character, who's a recovering alcoholic, versus Homer's just an alcoholic who has no ability to drink.
Yeah.
And then, of course, having Mo as the bartender is just, you have to have him. And he's great trying, being the less subtle version of the bartender from The Shining. Just like, come on, go and kill your family.
Your money's no good here, Mr. Torrance.
Yeah. Can't wait to see them do the parody of Dr. Sleep in a few years then.
Feeling fine.
Yeah. It's not so bad. Yeah, no TV, no beer makes Homer go crazy is such a great fucking line.
Yeah.
And I like the subversion. Like, you expect to be on the typewriter, and it's like, oh, no. And it's like, no, he's done an even more crazy thing.
Right.
Yeah, and then Homer just being crazy. I like how his, usual side-swept strands hairs are now front-swept.
Yeah. Don't mind if I do.
Just love the sound effects Dan Castellaneta is making here, as he's going crazy.
Yeah.
All the voice actors are great in this show, and I don't know what they're going to ever do if one of them dies.
They all sound different, though. We were watching a later one lately, and Ashley was saying, did they replace somebody? And I'm like, no, it's just they've gotten older.
Yeah, Julie Kavner's got to be in her 70s, I think, at this point.
I'm not sure. Her and I are the same age, according to you. So
yeah. I also love how just nonchalant Marge was about locking her. She's like, ooh, I'll make chili tonight. And then Homer's loving this, just being trapped with the food. He doesn't want to do the ghost spitting. I love it's all the Universal monsters plus Freddy Krueger and fucking Pinhead. And then this is my favorite joke of the whole thing, where he's doing the Here's Johnny. He just keeps doing different TV intros for each one he goes into.
Mike Wallace.
Yeah. And that's what sends them off, the 60 minutes. is over. Oh, thank God! I was worried there for a minute. Yeah, this one, like I said, I've loved all four previous ones. I think this is like when they really start getting like the laugh of like minute, like where you have like the golden age of the Simpsons, where it's just like there's constantly jokes being thrown at you. It's like constant great pace and all that. And also, I guess the impression is that he threw his TV right outside his cabin. That Willie has been on the grounds of this hotel the entire time. And yeah, that was the first of the Willie deaths that we get in this set special. Yeah, but this goes to show you it's like how far we've come from the first Treehouse of Horror, where Homer's going around with a butcher knife or like whatever, and he's holding an axe. It's still scary, but nowhere near as disturbing as that first one.
Urge to kill fading.
Fading. Rising. Um, it's just great to see how close Homer is to going on a psychotic killing spree. It's just like what 2 days of not drinking beer or watching TV.
I mean, checks out.
It's like I like the joke. It's like the longer we're in quarantine, the more I realize Jack Torrance held up a lot better than I would have expected.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is the first time I guess you can imply that the entire family dies, given the ending of The Shining.
Yeah.
So we've gone from most of them to all of them in this one. Yeah, the Time and Punishment one, I think, is my all-time favorite segments of all of these. It's just like it's amazing how stupid yet smart Homer is to inadvertently create a time machine. And, like, you would think Dan Castellaneta just having to work off of himself would be a little tough. It's like he does a great job in this. Like, and I love Homer like getting his hand stuck in the toaster somehow, and then it's back in there again somehow.
I'm stuck inside 2 vending machines.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they say, like each season Homer's IQ got lower and lower and lower.
Right.
Staying up all night building it, putting like a God knows what into it.
I'm stuck in between 2 vending machines.
And then I like how he had a piece of bread in his pocket ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Love all the different clocks he passes. And hey, Peabody and Mr. Sherman. Or Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Quiet, you.
And yeah, this is only a little over a year after Jurassic Park, so this is before we knew how many shitty sequels we would get to that movie series. Stop making them.
If you ever travel back in time, don't step on anything.
And the funny thing is, you feel like Grandpa would say that.
It's just, I just like the idea that that's like the advice you're getting from your father on your wedding day. It's supposed to be about marriage, and it's something bizarre and weird like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I just love like how every like time he does something, it just gets worse. And Homer's like, "Oh, will this create a problem?" The sloth thing shrugging. Yeah, and in this version, the hallway that's normally there is now just the stairs down to the basement. So, playing fast and loose with the geography of the house here, guys. Dictator Ned Flanders is great.
Marge's, the coloring on Marge's necklace was off in the previous frame.
Yeah. Like little animation errors like that.
Re-education.
Re-education. It's great. I feel like the entire premise of Ned Flanders being the dictator was done just for that line of re-education. Where the elite needs to have their spirits broken.
Oh, this is grotesque.
This is like something like out of fucking Brazil, like that Terry Gilliam movie, not The Country. But yeah, it's fucking horrifying. Yeah, and I just love how like they allow like Ned Flanders to be fucking evil across most of these ones now. Like, yeah, the first couple he's nice and all that, but it's like they allow usually like if we're gonna have someone in the cast be evil, it's gonna be Ned Flanders.
Right.
And the Mo like being lobotomized. It's like, oh my god, so fucking dark.
Yeah.
All drooling. And now he's releasing the hound, not Mr. Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. He just carries sausages in his pocket.
So give me the quick energy I need to escape.
It's great. Okay, let's see what he does this time. I love this. He's being so fucking careful. And then splat. His Dr. Seussian rhyme is perfect. It's great. Like how the hell does this change into making humans like 60 feet tall? It's nonsensical and it's perfect.
I can't believe this is your favorite one. You really think this is your favorite one?
I think so because it's just funny how like Homer is starting to slowly lose his mind, like as he keeps fucking up the past more and more and more. Just like he's like oh, and like chain reactions like that's. I guess like, the line is like that's gonna cost me a lot.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll find out what your favorite is later, so stay tuned. Yeah, I love this. Like the world is somehow perfect. Patty and Selma are dead. They're super rich, but donuts
Taking,
don't exist.
we're taking our Lexus to Aunt Patty and Aunt Selma's funeral.
The diamond pacifier is great. But again, Homer's gluttony. If he only stayed for
It's
2 more
raining
seconds.
again.
Groundskeeper Willie again. And here comes James Earl Jones for a second appearance.
Huh.
Yeah. I just love this is where Homer's he's just done. He's just actively going, I'm killing as much as he can.
Oh my god. Under the sea.
Yeah.
There we go. These guys again.
Yeah. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. They have them laugh so fucking long. It's great. But yeah, I mean, this is like what we were saying. Like, yeah, they go on. They don't always have a major part to play, but you know, they usually get to interject at least and have a funny moment. It's like everything's seemingly back to normal. You don't know what he did to what he had to do to get everything back, but you know, it's happy. We're gonna get our happy ending. Donuts are back, and then just this the lizard tongues, but he's like, close enough. Just like the sigh of defeat. It's like whatever, I'll put up with it. And then this one is potentially the darkest segment, or at least the darkest segment to date.
Is this the one where the teachers are eating everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I mean, this is
it's super dark.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think this truly is the best one. I mean, the Shining parody is great. I love the Time Punch, but then this is a great combination of horror and comedy. So it's like I said with the first one, was a little light on comedy at times. It was pretty scary. This is like this strikes the perfect balance of half horror, half comedy.
Right.
Like
see, she said, "Don't bitch to me."
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Mostly circus animals.
Great F meat. Oh, don't trip lunch lady Doris. That's not nice. I just love how quickly they turn to cannibalism. Just like this normal guy immediately tastes something. He's like, ooh, cannibal time.
Yeah.
And it's great how we don't even see what's happening to Jimbo. Like, they keep doing shit. He's, like, so nonchalant. It's like, now I have to work in the dark.
They get progressively fatter.
Yeah. It's just great. Yeah. Yeah, we don't see a lot of these teachers too often. You don't get to see Mr. Largo or Miss Hoover too often, so it's nice when we get to see them and, like, Lunch Lady Doris and whatnot a little bit more. The sloppy Jimbos. Yeah, like, they're not even trying to hide the
The
fact that they're
sloppy
cooking it.
Jimbos.
And I just love how, like, evil, like, Principal Skinner is getting, and just, like, how, like, the double entendres he keeps giving. Like, if it's like, oh, you could say, I know we're a little heavy, but, like, oh, there's a little ooter in all of us, I suppose you can say.
Yeah, it's totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Now Lisa's the only one concerned that all these themed lunches are around kids who are disappearing.
Uderbraten.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is like when I found out that you had no idea about the movie Alive or the real life event until very recently.
I mean, I knew about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Isn't it the Donner Party?
No, I made a joke about the. Yeah, I was watching a documentary about the Uruguayan, like, rugby players in the mountains. So, like, it was like in the '80s. These rugby players were in a plane that crashed into the Chilean mountains or, like, whatever, and they were forced to resort to cannibalism to survive. So that was turned into the movie Alive, starring Ethan Hawke.
Oh, well, what was the Donner Party then?
That was a bunch of stupid people going to California and left a little too late and got stuck in the mountains. And then they were also forced to do cannibalism.
Okay, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to see, like you said, they're getting fatter, and there's only a few classmates, and they're, like, really trying to figure out how to send them to detention at this point. They're just pure evil.
Oh God, Wendell, poor Wendell.
Yeah.
Detention. So she says it like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's the joy of cooking Millhouse.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, a lot of good book cover parodies come from these ones. There's this website that Amanda got me, this, like, set of, like, notebooks from that, like, all the famous book covers from it, and the two of the ones she got me was The Joy of Cooking Millhouse. Like, this is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
The Joy of Cooking Millhouse, and then Homer, I Hardly Knew Me, which was from a later episode, the one where Hugo is in the attic. Like, yeah, this is like a fucking horrifying image of Lunch Lady Doris covered in blood with the egg beaters. And then Kill Willie one more time.
Willie's always trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, except in the Nightmare on Elm Street one. But hey, let him have one back then. I'm gonna eat your shorts. Good turnaround. And then, yeah, this is fucking horrifying. Gooify. And I love, like, Bart's optimism here. He's like, oh, I'm sure we'll be saved. Nothing bad will happen to us. Well, at least us Simpsons kids, I'm sure.
Right.
Like, yeah, you don't
Oh
see
my
it, but
God.
it's fucking, yeah, it's horrifying.
Wow.
Yeah, and then wakes up, and then I sometimes get the Snoopy ending confused with this one. This is also a fucking pretty terrifying ending to one of these specials.
Oh my God. This is that where they're doing the
Yeah.
Inside Out musical.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking-
ew. This is disgusting. I hate this. Oh,
I love though how somehow Marge's shoes are left out. You can see a little bit of the red shoes on the bottom.
oh my God. I hate
it's
it.
fucking horrifying.
I hate it. I hate it.
Just so
It's-
gross.
It's nasty. I want
It's
to.
potentially the worst visual they've ever done on this show. Just the blood spraying everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. What is
then-
Is Grandpa supposed to be in the?
I think it's supposed to be groundskeeper Willie.
I don't know. Ew.
It's truly fucking terrifying. Like, I want to know who the fuck pitched this segment and how everyone else agreed. Like, yeah, let's do this. I mean,
Yeah.
Santa's little helper dragging Bart off screen, leaving a huge blood streak is fucking horrifying. But I don't know. On that note, let's move on to number 6. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, hi, and welcome back. We are back with Treehouse of Horror number 6, original air date, October 29th, 1995. Yeah, we're not even like really getting creative openings with the family anymore. We just got Krusty throwing it, and then damn, the Simpsons hanging. So that's pretty dark.
Yikes.
This is like when they're really getting into we can't do anything except the main stories because we are running out of time. I do miss the wraparound segments. I understand why they had to start cutting them out, but yeah, this segment is my least favorite. This is the one I remembered least out of the first 13 that we watched.
Really, your least favorite? You like the Raven better than
I
this?
like, yeah, no, I like the Raven a lot better than this because at least it's, I don't know, maybe someone who likes Tom and Jerry and all that, it works out. But like, the only part about this segment I like is Homer being pissed off that the donut he gets is not the size of like a car.
I just think it's very interesting, like mascots and stuff come to life. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is an interesting concept. I just don't think they do nearly as much with it. I will say it's a shame because it's like they turned this into a level in the Simpsons game that came out like in 2006. And this is like one of the best levels where you have to go around fighting Lard Lad as Homer and Bart. It's a fun ass level, so I don't know. Maybe I enjoyed the video game level a little bit more than this, and it tainted it for me.
Yeah, I don't love Lisa's song. I think it's interesting that like this is so now we're seeing that this is like the first Treehouse of Horror segment that Lisa is actually really like featured in. Like I know like she's been suspicious in a lot of the segments previous to that, but like she hasn't really had her own segment in the way that the other ones have. Yeah. And so this I guess would be the first one for her.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, I guess Dracula. She's like the main character of that one, but no, I agree. It's nice. It is nice to see Lisa getting a little bit more. It's obviously tough. They say the writers say, Bill Oakley was like saying that these Marge and Lisa storylines were usually given to the new guys because the established writers do what do we do with them? I don't want to write this. Give it to the new guy.
That was funny when I heard that. I mean, it's interesting, but those are my favorites. The Marge ones are my favorites. I think the my favorite episodes, I don't even know, but like definitely the Marge Chanel suit one. And like if you talk about like quotable ones, that one's like hysterical. Like Ashley and I quote that all the time. And then the pretzel one.
Oh yeah. That's a great one. I love Marge and Chains and the one where she becomes like a cop and like inadvertently ends like a serious crime ring that Homer could be killed in with Herman holding it at gunpoint and then Chief Wiggum shooting the star basketball player.
Yeah.
It's such a dark joke, but perfectly on brand for Wiggum.
Yeah. He was turning into a monster though.
I love Bart is the devil on the literal devil's shoulder here. And that also, like, a realty company would use a devil as their mascot.
Yeah. Oh, I guess all of my favorite are Marge episodes because I like it when she does the real estate stuff too.
Yeah. And Gil, that was one of Gil's first appearances, I think.
Stay off the west side.
Cookie Kwan, yeah.
Cookie, I'm scared of you.
Early Lindsay Nagel one as well.
Yeah.
It's great. He's trying to like convince him to go tear down Ned Flanders' home instead of giving up the donut that he can't eat.
Yeah.
And I love the lamp shading of I'm like, oh, that's all he wanted. It's like, no, he's just now using it to do even more destruction. And another thing they need to sue, that's a joke in Jason X, the one where Jason Voorhees goes into space, aka the fucking worst one,
Mm.
where he's killing everyone, and then like, he finds like his machete, and like the character is naively like, "Guys, it's okay. He was just upset because he didn't have his machete. It's okay. We're safe now." Cut to him being brutally killed. So, get on it, Simpsons. You can make more money. Sue Newline, I think, owns those, but whatever. Um, yeah, I agree. This was a weird like ending to this to be like, how do we get rid of these mascots? I mean, I guess it's kind of clever. It's like, okay, how do you forget about ads? You just don't think about them. It's like
Right.
it kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's a little cheap also.
Yeah, and then we have a weird song.
Yeah, but yeah, and then we got Paul Anka coming up as playing himself, which is a interesting cameo to get.
That's weird.
Yeah. But come on, everyone loves Paul Anka, am I right?
Who is Paul Anka?
He was like a big singer like in the '60s and '70s. I don't know, would this been like a joke that like he did a lot of commercials. Like I remember he did the famous Kodak Good Morning Yesterday commercial back when Kodak was still relevant. Just like one of the most famous commercials from that era. So I don't know like if this was a thing where he was known to do musical singings
Hmm.
over the stuff, or it's just like, okay, what singer can we get that's got a pleasant voice that can sing this stupid song?
Hmm.
Destroying the hospital and the orphanage. God, it's just so mean spirited, but it's great. And then Homer's gluttony is dooming them all still.
Yeah, man. His obsession with donuts has been in like almost all of these.
Yeah, very donut centric.
I want
You're right. No, I didn't even think about that. So, but yeah, that's one of the few. This is when they just put cane coders in like real quick. They don't have time to put them in like in a
yeah.
huge aspect.
The next
I
advertisement you see could destroy your house and eat your family, and then they go into a commercial break. That's great.
Yeah, it's
Like,
perfect.
like from my perspective, selling advertising, that had to be a huge problem for whoever
Yeah,
was in what we call the A position. The A position is coming like going into commercial break. You're the first ad you see,
yeah.
and people pay a premium for that because you're usually still on the couch in the room when that commercial comes on. So gonna
Yeah, I'd like to know what ad that was
yeah,
immediately after.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Now I love this Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace. Obviously, the parody of Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the animation style here. In his dream, it looks like he's in an old Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, I've never noticed
Briefly,
that.
yeah. Watching this now, like on Disney Plus, and like nice quality is probably also helping versus watching like an old VHS.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty much straight up retelling of the first, Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I mean, obviously there's a lot more humor in this. They don't play it completely straight, but yeah, it's very interesting. Like seeing, like, yeah, like they're not shying away. The kids are getting hurt. They're gonna die if they fall asleep again.
I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. The first one, like this is, it was before they made Freddy Krueger doing wisecracks like he was known for. It's very much like the Chucky doll movies, where it's
Mm.
like the first couple are very serious, and then like he's fucking doing one-liners. The first one is terrifying, and one of Johnny Depp's first roles.
Hmm.
Fun fact, but yeah, poor Martin can't catch a break.
This is what Martin dreams of. Being a math wizard or a Latin wizard.
Yeah.
I'm a mathematician. I'll make this remainder disappear.
It's just great. But no, I mean, you truly would think Martin would dream of something like this. It's a perfect joke, and then, yeah, horrifying that he's being killed in his dream,
Yeah.
and then dies of a heart attack. Like this, be discreet. Not in the kindergarten class.
Oh, that was legit funny.
Yeah. No, and I like though, like in the implication of this happened very recently, so they didn't notice how groundskeeper Willie disappeared. Like at least in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, it was when they were in grade school. Now they're high schoolers, so it's been many a year. But it's like I like how this like happened like a month or two ago, or at least the previous school year.
Oh yeah,
Lousy,
this is also like super fucked up because he burns alive.
yeah, lousy smart
Oh
weather.
yeah, I say that
Great
all the
Jacob.
time.
Yeah, and then do not touch Willie. I mean, that's two good quotes in
Yeah,
a matter of seconds.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, this is probably one of the darkest fucking things. And I remember this scared the shit out of me. Like, yeah, right here, it's kind of funny, like, still, because it's just like, he's red and, like, he's just like, oh, come on. But, like, when he turns into his skeleton form in a few seconds, like, it's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so occasionally we're still getting these legit scary if you're young
Yeah.
at the time watching it.
We used to sit down and wait.
He's just patient. I love like you can see the effect on Kurt's like animation that like you can see the fire burning. It's a nice touch.
Oh my god. I don't like the idea of Millhouse having two spaghetti meals in one day.
Yeah. I love this. He's turning into a skeleton. Like this is fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Yikes.
Like considering Willie had been the hero like the previous Halloween, like we're doing a big tone shift.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
The next time we fall asleep, we could die. Welcome to my world.
I love giving Maggie the buzz cola with the pacifier or the nipple or whatever you want to call it on it. But yeah, and I mean, this is why the Nightmare on Elm Street ones are terrifying. It's like, oh, this is just a race against time now. Like, it's inevitable that you need to sleep at some point.
Right.
Yeah, and how fucked up Lisa is that she screws up. She has one job in this episode. She screws it up. But yeah, I mean, the animation in this part, like, you know, like going through the creepy dream like thing is just great. And like, but how Bart can still have his moment dreaming of Krusty in a few moments. It's still just very Bart. Like, oh, I almost just died, but hey, Krusty's here. And it's a very visually creative segment with like all the different depictions Willie has across all these different incarnations, all that, and they did a good job picking him to be the Freddy Krueger-esque with his already razor implements of the rake, but being able to be like, okay, well, a lawnmower would have those too, so props to them on that.
Yeah.
And then it just turns back into the regular old Willie. And who knew, like 20 years from now, they would use a similar thing for the sinkhole for the Simpsons movie. I guess only 8 years at that time. Yeah, like this is terrifying. Him as a giant spider, like I said,
bagpipe spider.
Yeah, bagpipe spider. The two worst things in the world. I love Krusty's cowardness of just leaving him. I guess that shows Bart has a very low opinion of Krusty at times. That's not even really Krusty. That's Bart's depiction of Krusty.
Right. I hope we get reincarnated as somebody who could stay up for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great joke. And then blows up. Horrified.
Yeah.
The weird, like, that felt like them sitting on a moon couch. Like, that felt like that should have been like a bumper for like the TV Land or Nick at Night back in the day.
Yeah.
And then we're back to like the wacky animation to be like, oh, it's not over yet. Better fake out ending than the original Nightmare on Elm Street got, though.
This doesn't look like wacky.
I mean, the colors are a little bit more like, saturated than we're usually seeing.
I guess. I don't know.
Like, that's like lime green grass.
I don't know.
Losing his shoe. Wait to show you how ineffectual he is. Um, yeah, and now we're on to what I call the tech demo segment of this Homer or Cubed. This was originally written by David S. Cohen before he changed his middle name to X and going on to go to do Futurama. So you can see his futuristic elements and tech stuff that would later go on to help create that
I think
show.
this is my least favorite thing about the mid 90s is that like technology was really coming into play. So people were just using it and like not in a good way. Right. And I guess
Yeah.
this isn't like the worst thing they could have done. I think it was really cutting edge for the time, but it's just like I hate using technology for technology's sake, right? And like a lot of the mid 90s were like doing this kind of shit and it was like gratuitous as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of good moments still in it, but like it's still visually interesting. I like say it's like Toy Story 1 of the Treehouse of Horror, where it's like yeah, it doesn't hold up nearly as visually as well as this does. Like this still looks great for being 20 plus years old. The
Yeah.
CGI isn't great, but it's fine. But yeah, I mean, like when he gets there, they don't really do too many jokes. Like they have a few like observational jokes, like the X, Y, and Z axis, and like him being like, "Wow, I feel like this is pretty expensive. I should be doing something." Like it's like I'm sure that was a directive from the studio. It's like, "Come on, this is pretty expensive. You got to do something."
Right. Yeah.
But
I do like the setup that like he went into the mystery wall because he didn't want to be around Patty and Selma. Ew.
yeah, that's fucking horrifying.
That's nasty.
Um, yeah, but yeah, and, I think the very interesting thing with this is this is a homage to Twilight Zone episode where the same thing happens, not trying to escape sister-in-law, but like they go into the parallel world, but and much like with Poltergeist, same thing. The kid gets sucked into the ghost dimension, but unlike those two, we actually get to see what's on the other side. So I thought that was very interesting. It's like, okay, what would be horrifying? What would be mystical to them? Oh, a third dimension. So I like
Right.
how we've established that the Simpsons live exclusively in a 2D world that they don't know what a third dimension could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like I'm looking at like a cutscene for like Simpsons Hit and Run or something right
Right.
now.
I do like Marge's like thing where she's like, "You're probably just in the linen closet again."
Again, just lowering Homer's IQ by a few points every season.
Yeah.
Just a slightly dumb guy in the first season to routinely getting trapped in the linen closets.
Oh, that looks cool. That's pretty cool for
Yeah,
95. That's cool for
yeah.
95.
Yeah. Well, yeah, here with the water, it's like they say that's like the hardest thing there, and that's why Pixar like was doing shit like toys and bugs early on because it's like they already look plasticky. We can't make humans look well, so it's like yeah,
Right.
for a TV budget for 10 minutes, they did pretty good. It's not terrible looking for 25 plus years. So
This
I mean,
was
there's
this was
I've
probably
seen
so
CG.
expensive.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen CGI and stuff from like the past few years that looks a lot worse than this.
Yeah, this is pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading though, like they had a hard time trying to model Homer and then especially Bart in a minute. Like, how the fuck do we draw his hair? And then one of them realized just go buy a Bart Simpson doll from the store and like we'll just look at that and give that to the animators and say draw it like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and you see like a lot of times like where it's like, oh, what if the Simpsons were real and they look fucking horrifying? They did a good job here not making them look too creepy. Like they're not bulgy eyed like monsters. Like
Right.
it's a good balance. I also like how they just keep getting more and more people over, but Ned Flanders was brought over to be on his ladder to look around. I love this. She's like Lisa leaning on the light switch to do the dramatic lighting. I love how this shows you how bored we always were in school. Like I know I drew cubes all the time in my notebook
God.
instead of paying attention.
Did you draw the S chain though?
I could never get it to. I never was able to do it. I was fucked up, so I wasn't smart enough to do that.
Did you ever sign your notes "Love you like a sister"?
I did not.
Why not? Lila's?
I don't know. I don't think I did that. I don't think that was still a thing at the time.
I mean, why would you sign it "Love you like a sister"? How would you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't, maybe because I didn't talk to girls too much back then, or
No,
now.
you're saying you love someone like a sister. I guess,
Oh,
well,
well,
I guess it could work both ways.
yeah, but well, I'm saying that like I just never saw like other people doing it as well. So I don't know. Maybe if I hung out with girls more, I would have seen them.
Well, you know what? You know what? It was probably you're probably right because I'm 35 years older than you, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I love going in the old timey diving suit and then immediately be like, ah, never mind. Just shows the fair weather nature of Abe Simpson. Also great that they had that huge length of rope there for Bart to tie around himself. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it still looks visually creative and all that. Like, yeah, when I've looked, like, there'd have been more jokes versus this being, like, a tech demo.
Yeah, I mean...
sure, but...
Yeah.
It's a good tech demo.
Yeah, it's decent, but, you know.
Just he forgets to jump.
Oh man.
I love like Bart like being like, yeah, he fell, but he was optimistic at least. And I just have to say, you know, as we get up here, when I was rewatching this the other day of Homer in the Real World, I'm watching him like walking around the real world, and I'm like, this looks very familiar. Like this looks like the Valley of California, and I found out like this is 5 minutes from my house.
Really?
This is like literally, I could drive here to this store within 5 minutes. It's not an erotic cake shop, unfortunately, but it's a coffee shop, and it looks almost identical. So, yeah, pictures on the screen if you're watching the YouTube version of me recreating Homer walking down this street.
Wow. Look at that.
So this is Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks. Don't come and try and find my apartment now, people. So I wonder if this was an erotic cake factory or cake store at the time, or they just...
It must have been. They wouldn't have, I don't think they would have.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have done that big sign on the screen for it. But yeah, this is, like 2 minutes from me. I saw the address. I'm like, let me Google this and see what comes up.
Wow. Well, there you
Ventura
go.
Boulevard's changed a little bit in the subsequent 25 years before I moved there, but whatever. So, all right, well, we're now wrapping up on Treehouse of Horror number 6. Tune in next week when we'll cover 7 through 9. So, again, hope you guys all had fun with us on this.
See ya.
See ya.